Now, once the battle is over, we will have expended blank ammunition that the guys fire. They'll pick up some brass. For the kids, it'll be down in the camp. The reason we don't want anybody going out onto the field after we're done with the battle is sometimes a blank will not fire, so the guys eject it out and they may forget to pick it up and put it in their pocket. So we don't want anybody getting hurt or picking up any non-expended rounds. For those that have, they're still able to be seen, and the Germans will now push forward under the cover of the MG42 that's firing. Now, the German infantry not only had a K98 that fired 5 rounds per clip, but they also had Smizer machine guns, or better known as the MP40, that had a 30-round clip that could be emptied in 2 to 3 seconds if you held the trigger down. The MG42 machine gun was a light squad machine gun that could fire up to 1,000 rounds a minute. Now, the Tiger tank initially opened fire with the MG43s, which are the tank crew machine guns, and then he fired 1 round of probably HE, high explosive ammo, into the battlefield so that the infantry would move, the American infantry would move back. The Americans are in full retreat, going back into the wood lines that they came out of, and the Germans are now pushing forward to drive the infantry off the battlefield and further back. Now, the German commander is telling his infantry to move forward in support of the Tiger tank, which is what armored infantry would do during World War II. Now, the German commander has a radio man with him that he's in communication with the tank. So he'll be directing the tank in the direction that he needs them to turn and fire and give support for the infantry. The German commander is satisfied that he's pushed the American forces off the field of battle, and the tank is forward, and the Germans are moving into a position now that, as it's complete, it will look like an L. The German commander is moving his forces back behind the cover of the little hill where they initially started out at, and the Tiger tank is engaging infantry in the moving truck with machine guns at this time. Having the American tanks now called pivot steer or neutral steer. You had to turn in probably a 50 to 60 foot radius. What they're doing now is the Germans have set it in a basic battle position. The commanders are reassessing. The Tiger's going back to resupply real quick. And then the Stuart came out. It's a light reconnaissance tank. So he's coming out to assess the German position so that he can radio back for the Stuarts and any other heavier armor that the American forces may have. The Stuart tank is now starting to engage the Germans in their position, and the Tiger tank has been resupplied and ready to go again. Ladies and gentlemen, on my left, where they just dropped the rope, please stay on that side of the yellow rope. The Stuart's actually riding through the field kind of haphazardly to try to see if he can draw any German small arm fire, but he just drew the fire of the Tiger tank. As the Tiger moves forward, the Stuart's moving back to try to get in position where he can try to fire at them. Now, in reality, the Stuart would not take on a Tiger because he's got a 37 millimeter round versus a 88 millimeter round. And even in World War II, it took 5 Sherman tanks or a couple of M10s to take out a Tiger. What you're looking at now is there's German paratroopers that are falling in behind the Tiger tank to come forward to give it support as infantry, because the German paratroopers are armed a lot with small arms such as MP40s and captured Soviet PPSH machine guns. Now, if you notice on the far right, you can see the smoke fume of the Stuart versus what the Tiger tank did. The Tiger tank is basically firing into the wood line to take care of any infantry that might be hidden down inside there. And the paratroopers behind it are firing off to the side to engage the infantry once they pop up. This portion of the battle is where both sides are trying to gain dominance over the other through superior firepower and maneuvering. If you look at the black smoke coming from the right side of the battlefield, the Tiger tank has just taken out the Stuart tank.
This has an 88 elevator wing, and the M60 and 105 millimeter, and the Sheridan that we had when I was in the cab had a 152 millimeter.
The Germans are continuing their advance forward. And the Americans are starting to move forward again. The American bazooka team is going to try to disable the Tiger tank by taking out one of its tank treads. Once the tank is disabled, the tank crew can no longer maneuver it, so they would have to come out of the tank itself and now become infantry. The bazooka team fired and hit the track of the Tiger tank. Now more of the American infantry is starting to move in to hit the Germans on their flanks. Again, this portion of the battle is going to become who has superior firepower and who has the best ability to drive the other one off the field. The American First Sergeant is ordering his troops forward. Him and the company commander are pushing his men forward to engage the German in the flank. The reconnaissance truck right now is firing a .30 caliber into the Germans as they continue to move forward, along with the armored infantry of the Americans. Now that odd sound you're hearing is the ricochet of the blank being reported off of the wall, back of the wall. The Americans are now starting to outgun and outmaneuver the Germans, so they'll be able to move forward here pretty quickly. Now at the far end of the field, you'll see the berm. There's a 20 millimeter anti-aircraft gun that can also be used as a anti-personnel gun, and the German paratroopers are manning that dirt mound down there.
Right out there.
Ah, I see.
As the Americans push forward, you'll notice medics out there in the field starting to check on wounded, both GI and German. During World War II, it was common practice that medics on both sides would render aid to either side soldiers. It looks like a map was found on one of the Germans. He was just given to the company commander, so he'll have information about possible other German positions. That's what he's holding in his hand right now. And he's directing them to check some of the other guys because he's experienced and he knows that some of the German ranks. It looks like more American infantry are coming into the battle in their jeeps, and they'll help to push forward against the final German position down at the dirt berm. The American commander is urging his forces to move forward to take out that final position of the Germans down at the dirt mound. Now the German paratroopers had two mottos: either die in place or retreat. They did not want to be captured because of being paratroopers.
German for paratrooper is all.
Now, the German soldier you see surrendering to the Americans is not a paratrooper. He's a regular German army soldier. You can tell because he's only wearing a green tunic versus the camouflage of the paratroopers. It looks like the Americans have taken the battle position from the Germans and have cleared all Germans from the battlefield. Now they'll go through looking for wounded and looking for officers and NCOs that might have information that they can send up to higher headquarters in order to continue the American advance onto the German positions.
Oh, yeah, don't you think?
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the first battle of the 7th annual Operation Breakout and Pursuit.
One other thing that I would like to point out to you for the combat military, we join for God and for country and protect our country. But when we're on that battlefield, like you've been witnessing here, and you're in actual combat, it never goes the way it was supposed to. No. Nothing is ever working, and therefore what you're doing as a combat veteran, as a combatant in combat, what you're doing is watching after that band of brothers to the right and to the left. You become a family, and it breaks you.
And if you've been here in the past years, you've noticed I've always had a piece of paper in my hand that was a script. This year we have no script, because this year we wanted to make it different and make it more realistic on how the battles of World War II would have been fought. If you hold in place here, we'll get the guys up here in units and we will identify each unit. And there are veterans in the unit, in all the different units. Some of us are retired, some of them are still active duty. Unit commanders on the field, once you've had a chance to collect all your gear, come up here in your unit formations, please.
Wants to do interviews with them, so get them all up. We can thank them. That Tiger is a tad expensive to run. It takes 5 gallons of diesel per mile. 5 gallons of diesel per mile. But I do not believe they'll ever have one you can plug in and go any further.
Captain Greg, can we shift you guys down to fill up LEH to get in? All units shift down to your right. We still got to get LEH in here.
Give it up for the Fallsham here. Let's stand out there. Hey, up! Let's get down. Up! Good. Oi!
We're good. You're good right where you're at. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the reenactors on the battlefield. I will announce the units by name and where they're located, and they will give out their units battle cry. If you look down to the far left, we have the 29th Infantry Division. They are a national historical unit. They come from all over the United States. If you ever want to see them in mass, go to D-Day, Ohio in Conneaut. 29th Infantry. Next to them, we have the 2nd Armored Division. They are out of Indiana, Kentucky, Missouri, and the areas all around that state. 2nd Armored Division. Next to them, we have the 82nd Airborne. They are the 505th Regiment, and they are a national element as well. 82nd Airborne. Next group we have is the Rail Splitters. They are out of Kentucky, Tennessee, and other areas in the United States. They are also a national unit. The first German element we have is 1st Company, 5th Fallschirmjäger Regiment, 3rd Fallschirm Division. They are out of Kentucky, centrally located, Fort Knox, Louisville, Bowling Green, and Evansville, Indiana area. 5th FJR. Next element we have is the 30th Infantry Division of the German Wehrmacht Army. They are a local element out of Kentucky. 30th Infantry. The last infantry or armored infantry unit from the German side today is LAH. They are a national unit. They have units from all over the United States, and when they go to Conneaut, they can fill a complete campsite half the size of this park. LAH. The Stewart tank and the WC with the 30 caliber on it belong to the 14th Armored Recreations out of Shepherdsville, Kentucky. The Tiger tank is part of the LAH. They are out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Tiger tank. The two Jeeps behind are out of local units from Kentucky. And they will be down in the motor pool area, so you can go down and take a look at all the different vehicles that they have. The troops will be dismissed to go back down, give them time to get down there, get water, and rehydrate it, and they'll be glad to talk to you about what they've done today, and you can look in their campsites. Unit commanders, take charge of your units.
That's solid, son. I like that.
So they could take magnetic mine, put it on the sides of the vehicle. But it's just funny seeing the guy said, yeah, well,
They had the female tankers.
we're not going to do it. Like, paste, you put tile on it. Because it already has, Zerman has, like, took a rake through it, you know?
I still remember from some of the displays.
Yeah. It's so easy to put on. Like when you put the reels through it, that's going to reel on.
Well, just so you know, I've got 4 within the next month. I've got this weekend, not next weekend, but the following weekend I got one on the side.
fall.
Will not fire any duplicates or anything like that. We've tried. Because the shell.
Just like you went to the round coming.